So if people perceive me as she's very smart, she's high performance, she can do it all, that's what gave me purpose and joy. And it wasn't really glorifying God. It wasn't really, working unto the Lord. It was really a selfish, prideful thing that was really in my heart.
For people that are currently obsessed with the grind culture right now, it's something that you might want to rethink, di ba? Na parang working hard is good. It's actually biblical to be excellent. Pero syempre sometimes we need to take a step back and see what's happening and also maintain balance in your life na parang hindi lang puro ito.
Welcome to Adulting with Joyce Pring. Watch the full video of this episode on my channel, www.youtube.com/JoycePringTV. And if you want to level up your adulting game, check out joycepring.com/collections for my digital products and courses.
Alam mo ba, nung nagsiset up sila,
Ano?
kinailangan nilang taasan ng bahagya yung ilaw. As in, liwanagan ng konti.
Dahil?
Kasi ang itim mo na raw.
I love it. I love the color. It's
Oo,
it's
nung
really
isang araw nga
nice
nagulat ako, biglang may lumulutang na ng ngipin sa ng isang gabi. Nag-smile siya eh.
Sobra OA mo. Hindi naman ako ganun katan. Pero kailangan kong bumili ng bagong makeup. Yun na lang ang sasabihin ko. But it's good. It's okay. It's a really nice and healthy glow. And we love the running era. How's
Yeah,
the
we
running
love-
era
we
so
love the
far?
running
I-share
era.
mo naman sa amin ang experience mo habang sinusundan mo yung marathon training program ko.
Well, nai-enjoy ko siya kasi 'di ba, for those of you who know, matagal naman na akong tumatakbo. Hindi lang halata sobra kasi malakas ako kumain. Pero so
Akala ko naman kasi hindi ka nagpo-post sa social media kasi nga pala malakas ka kumain. Okay.
yun. Tapos maliban doon, syempre, yun yung isa sa mga pinakamadaling exercise that I've been trying to do. But ever since na sumasabay ako sa program na binigay sa'yo, na mas structured, it's not as boring as I thought it would be.
Oh, yeah?
Oo, kasi syempre parang usually I'd just, run like a chicken and tire myself out and just parang may habulin na akong time and or duration or length ganyan. Pero ngayon kasi iba na 'di ba? So parang may intervals and then rest and then you monitor your magsi-speed training ka. Tapos kapag nagsi-speed training ka, makikita mo yung mga normal runs mo, buwibilis ka na. Tapos maliban doon, yung distance sobrang lumalayo. It isn't as gruesome as it used to be. Tsaka yung mga zone 2 runs and zone 3 runs. Zone 2 na parang chill ka lang, parang pogi ka lang, parang alam mo yun, parang poodle ka lang na naglalakad. Ganun, no? So, sa mga nakakita sa video, ganun, no? Ganun lang yung takbo nun ng zone 2.
Okay.
Zone 3 medyo hindi ka na nakapagsalita.
Tama,
Zone 4 yung ka na, yung medyo hinihingal ka na.
Okay.
Zone 5 naman yung konting may liwanag na sa gilid mo na parang on the way na dun. On the way na dun. Yun yung zone 5.
Nandun na si St. Paul.
Medyo may kumakalabit na. So, yun ang mga different zones as per my understanding, ha? So, let's just get that straight.
That should be the infomercial about running zones at your nearest sports stores. That's the best explanation. Thanks, love, for that
Okay.
very detailed explanation.
You're welcome.
And the longest run that we've done so far is...
Sabi ni Joyce kasi magsimula ng 12. Magsimula ng mag-11 lang tayo, ha? Sabi niya, ito yung kwento ko dun. 11 lang tayo, ha? Tapos, syempre, wrong calculation ako. So, nung 11th, nasa middle of nowhere kami. So, we had to...
Tapos pinagkita kami
ang init na.
Sobrang init na. Imagine mo, isang oras at 1 hour and 15 minutes na kaming tumatakbo from the house to the middle of nowhere. Tapos ng pang-11, sabi ko kay Juancho, asan na? Sabi niya, mga 1 kilometer pa. Oh my gosh, yung mukha ko siguro sobrang bad trip. Kasi sabi niya sa akin, huwag ka na magalit. Pwede naman natin
Tapusin na lang natin.
And that's the thing, we did not have breakfast. We went from waking up straight to running kasi we were like, breakfast tayo pagdating natin doon.
Oh, yes.
Si Juancho, pinag-calculate ko. Boom!
Oo. Tapos may nakita pa kami ahas sa daan.
Sobra.
Diba?
Pero patay. Pero si Juancho, he still crossed the road.
No,
Sabi ko,
I'm really not gonna deal with snakes. Like, please.
Yeah.
Snakes and rats.
That's our running era so far. So, please pray for us. I feel like it's been strengthening our bond and our marriage. So, it's been really fun. Shout out to Coach again.
Shout out to Kuya Kim as well.
Yes, and Kuya Kim
for
as
the
well.
recommendation.
That's
Feeling
right.
ko mas maliban doon, the sun has exfoliated my skin.
The sun cannot do that.
Kasi parang syempre na-detoxify because of the sweat glands, yung sa mga nakikinig diyan na derma.
Ganun pala
Please
yun.
do correct me, send your your corrective messages
Yes.
sa aming DM. But I feel like my skin's better than ever. Oo. Meron siya dark glow ngayon. Narinig niyo na ba yan? Dark glow?
Mama! Ayoko na. Okay na yun. Ay, nako. Anyway, we're gonna talk about not overworking. Ang hirap yung transition, no? Hi. Well, apart from our running era, we've also been volunteering a lot in our local church by God's grace, which, for the longest time, we have not been able to do because, one, we just moved here, like a few years pa lang. And in those 3 years that we've moved here, we've also popped 2 babies out simultaneously. So we have been super busy at home. And every time we've been asked to, volunteer and things like that, di talaga kami nakakapunta or hindi namin nagagawa dahil nga, we have 2 small children. But recently, we did a talk for a singles event and natanong kami about a question on how to not be eaten up by grind culture. And it's so funny because dun sa clip na yon, actually, meron akong sinabi kasi dun yung team namin, sila Kiara, sila Joyla, people who work closely with us. And when that question was being asked, I saw them go like, hindi ko ba sasagot? Parang para sa'yo yan So, we posted that clip online and a lot of you guys actually requested for us to talk more in depth about it. So, I want to talk about that, love, na how is it, okay, ikwento mo muna sa amin. Kasi between the 2 of us, ikaw talaga yung hindi workaholic ever. And I respect it because masipag ka, pero grabe yung boundaries mo rin na, okay na ako, ganun lang. I mean that in the best way possible. Okay na yan. Si Mr. Pwede na yan. Yan ang running joke namin. Pero, can you tell me more about like your principle behind, okay, maybe your practical principles first, kung bakit hindi ka ever ma-overwork na tao, and then your Christian principle as to why you don't overwork yourself.
Let me think. I don't know it's something that I don't really think about but do. Ever since naman, ganun naman talaga yung outlook ko sa work. Hindi yung until the wheels fall off kind of thing. Siguro, for me, it's different din talaga. Not like the grind culture that everybody's talking about. Especially, syempre, years ago, I was just purely an artista or kung wala akong I would just be doing unang hirit. So, other opportunities weren't there pa. Di ba? Wala naman social media work nung unang panahon. And para sa akin, nako-compartmentalize ko kasi yung mga bagay-bagay. Meaning, tawag dito, parang I know that if this is the season for a teleserye, that's gonna be like I'm gonna put my head down for 3 months and just focus on this, and then after nun, may 9 months out of the year naman ako to kind of, have my regular schedule and not be as busy. So, alam ko naman kasi per season naman talaga siya.
Yeah.
So, parang when I'm in the midst of, in the midst of busyness, sinasabi ko na parang there's something to look forward to after the show. Siyempre, during the show, it's fun rin kasi siyempre iba yung income. So, I think that's my biggest difference with other people. Yun nga, important din sa akin na ever since I love taking breaks din. Na ginagawa ko na lang, hindi ko na iniisip yung syempre para sa mental health kasi para mga 5 years ago hindi mang uso yan.
Pero puro sa Asia lang.
Southeast Asia, visa-free countries lang tayo. And piso sale.
Inside joke lang namin yun.
Piso sale flights lang. Oo. Doon tayo sa practical lang. Tsaka syempre para sa newbie during that time na international traveler.
Wow.
Diba? Syempre gaining those syempre aside ng kwento na lang, but gaining those travel stamps will mean a lot when it comes to diba? So anyway, yun para sa akin, I feel like it isn't much for me. Hindi ako now overwork because alam ko na parang lang to, season lang to. And then after nito, tapos na. And then X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Siguro it's again the combination of that and also the lack of opportunities for me out there during that
And
time.
lack of responsibilities, I feel like.
Oh,
Wala ka
yeah,
namang
yeah.
responsibilities nun, even in your family, diba?
Yeah. So, ngayon lang naman na nagra-ramp up yung as in just fairly recent nagra-ramp up yung yung
Mga 2 months ago.
hindi yung responsibility kasi 1 na si Aggie and 3 si Liam tapos may asawa na ako. Oo, kailangan na mag-step up pala So, hindi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also it has a lot to do with background, no? Because you come from a very, stable kind of background naman. Parang there's no, kasi iniisip ko kanina, yung point mo was, alam kong freelance ako. So, pag wala akong work, edi wala akong work. Diba? Parang ganun lang. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that you weren't required to look for work naman talaga by anybody else in your life. Whether that was, your parents or other people who might have depended on you because that wasn't your setup. So, parang for me, it's very different because my background was, like, if I was also freelance. But yun nga, pag mga times na, alam kong busy ako ng November to January kasi yan yung mga Christmas events, corporate parties, and things like that. But every other month, every month, apart from that, I'm always looking for work. Like, I'm always looking for opportunities, as in, to the point na, I starkly remember, I would host na sobrang tagal, siguro mga ilang oras, na sobrang mura lang ng TF ko. Magbabus pa ako papuntang Alabang for that hosting. Grabe, lagi akong on the lookout for work to the point that even when I was on TV, then I wasn't on TV, then I was just fully freelancing, live hosting. To the point na pinupuntahan ko pa yung mga friends, parang may pinakilala sa aking friends, yung current friends ko that time, na mga radio DJ. Tapos every night, pumupunta ako dun sa show nila. Tapos nakikinig lang ako, nakikipunta lang ako, magka-hi hello ako, para lang magpakilala ako sa station manager, sa kanila, just in case they can give me an opportunity. And funny, they didn't give me an opportunity. Si Magic 89.9 pa yung nagbigay sa akin. So, shout out to Boss Aidu. pero yun nga, na parang I was always looking
Funny
for work. Huh?
Yeah, funny how things work.
Yeah, funny how things work out because this was a relatively less popular radio show, but I was so desperate to find a regular job. apart kasi I was doing already a little bit of social media postings that time, kahit hindi pa sobrang sikat. Tapos, nagla-live events ako. Tapos, minsan, kaya nagawa yung Tales from the Friend Zone kasi na-meet ko sa isang event sila Direct RA. So, parang ako, any opportunity that comes up, I will go and get it. Because my background was very different. It was, you get a job or you don't eat. Parang ganong type of background. So, that's why when that question came up, I was really so passionate to answer it. Kasi nga, as many of you know, as my husband knows very well, I am a tama naman no? Retired workaholic. Sobrang retired workaholic. I used to work almost 24 hours a day, run on 4 hours of sleep, and do all the hustles that I could do because I thought that was what gave me value. Kasi coming from not a good background, parang feeling ko, yun yung magbibigay sa akin ng value, relevance, and all those things that I deemed were the most important. And it's only really recently, as in mga 2 years ago, or nung pinanganak si Eliam nga, medyo ano pa di ba? Medyo workaholic pa rin ako nun because middle of the pandemic, I could still host and then breastfeed and host, in the house lang. But, so let's talk about that, love. Let's talk about what do you think were the changes that had to be made? And as a husband of a workaholic, ano yung mga bagay that you brought to my attention or you thought or you think mga binago natin para hindi na ako maging workaholic?
Well, for me, I feel like our deep conversations meant a lot because if we did not do the difficult conversations, hindi natin ma-figure out why you're being a workaholic.
Yeah.
'Di ba? So since na-mention mo na, 'di ba? And we always talk about it, there's a fear behind that eh. Mm-hmm. There's a reason behind that. Yung fear of, parang going back to the unknowing and going back to
the instability.
The instability is something that I don't like, or parang may or X amount, syempre unknowingly may X amount of figures ba sa bank account mo na parang teka lang, kinakabahan na ako dito Mm-hmm. Tapos parang medyo mag-aano ka na, alam mo yun, mag-scrape and claw ka na to do stuff na parang alam mo yun, but for survival purposes. Yeah. That you've been doing all your life. So when we figure that out and we talked about it, na syempre hindi naman basta-basta mawawala yun kasi syempre after talking about it, 'di ba? You're still gonna feel that way. But we know what to attack. We know what it is already. And when we did that, I feel like mas na-alleviate and we prayed about it kasi syempre specific na yung prayers natin.
And saka lagi ako nagkakasakit na ulit nun.
Oo, diba? Nagkakasakit.
Because it's just too much stress. Parang imagine you're a new mom. Eliam was just a few months. And parang binabalance ko yung high performance, working so often, while at the same time, fully breastfeeding Liam. Wala kaming yaya. No nothing. Yeah.
Tsaka yun, di ba, we always talk about even if your intentions are for the good, to what extent is it making around the people, di ba, around you? Yeah. So, syempre yun nga na-affect na, may mga na-affect na ibang bagay. So, yun, for people that are currently obsessed with the grind culture right now, it's something that you might want to rethink, di ba? Na parang, working hard is good. It's actually biblical, di ba, to be excellent. Pero, syempre, sometimes we need to take a step back and see what's happening, di ba? Yeah. Be aware of your surroundings and also maintain, balance in your life na parang hindi lang puro ito.
Yeah, and I think also it's quite tricky because when I was working really hard, I had convinced myself that my intentions were good, as you've mentioned. I had convinced myself na, we have a kid now, I need to help Juancho also because, we have a baby, we have to build a family. And I honestly thought I was doing the right thing. And even nung single pa ako, hindi lang naman siya dahil gusto kong yumaman. It was, I had to provide for certain people, I had to help other people. So parang laging ganun yung intention ko. And then recently, siguro 2 years ago or last year, when I started seriously praying about it, like, Lord, bakit every time tinatry kong mag-slow down, hindi ko magawa. Like, laging full throttle pa rin. I can't seem to let go. And what God was revealing in my heart was the reason behind my grind that I didn't even know existed, which was my relevance depended on how people perceived me. So if people perceived me as she's very smart, she's high performance, she can do it all, that's what gave me purpose and joy. And it wasn't really glorifying God. It wasn't really, working unto the Lord. It was really a selfish, prideful thing that was really in my heart. And that kind of floored me when I realized that na, my goodness, oo nga no? Kasi kung naiintindihan ko na ang calling sa atin ng Panginoon, ang purpose sa buhay natin is to love and honor Him and to love and serve others and then to love and serve others, then I should realize that at this season in my life, the calling is to help Juancho as much as possible by being a present wife and to nurture and care for my children in the best way possible. Now, we come from a privileged perspective and point in life where hindi ko naman kailangan talaga magtrabaho as hard as I was working. Kasi Juancho was providing enough. We were very comfortable. So I had a choice to just really stay at home with the kids, but I didn't want to. I had the choice to really slow down and take care of Juancho and prioritize that, but I didn't want to because my relevance hinged on how people perceived me rather than how God saw me. And that was a mindset shift that happened where nagkaroon ako ng peace, ng confidence, and just ng, I don't know what the word would be. Parang sobrang, finally nag-slow down ako. Finally, we're here now.
Yeah.
Where I'm able to say no to certain projects. I'm able to say na, sorry, hindi ko magagawa yun kasi may work si Juancho. So, hindi ako pwedeng umalis na si Juancho din wala sa bahay. Or I'm able to set like rules na mga once a month lang ako talagang lalabas ng bahay na hindi kasama yung mga bata. Because the priorities now are in check. And ever since I obeyed, ever since God revealed this to me, and ever since I lived my life accordingly, I'm just so much happier and more fulfilled. As in, our marriage is thriving more, I would say.
Oh, yes.
The children are thriving. They're very happy. They're very intelligent, healthy kids. And I'm also happier. Like, I'm able to do marathon training and, do the things that I actually like, which is just hang out with my kids and run. And I know that's not what most or some women want. But for me, it's really what I wanted. It's really what made the most sense.
So, last and final thoughts sa mga nanonood ng
Biglang
video.
may baby.
Biglang may syempre kasi nagising si
Nagising si kuya ng nap.
Pero as we close, yun ang thoughts namin sa grind culture. It's not all bad. But in closing, we just want to remind syempre everyone, 'di ba, to take a step back and reassess also on your whys. Syempre hindi naman palaging masama yung kung bakit yung ginagawa ang mga bagay. Pero, syempre, ultimately, the calling for us is to love God and love others. And be excellent in His kingdom. So, siguro, that has helped us a lot. And, syempre, lahat ng bagay, with the help of God, will take care of itself naman.
Yeah. And I think I also just wanted to share that yung lostness na yon of finding my value or relevance in perception of other people and the acquiring of good things, of working really, really hard, that really changes. And it's a process of change when you realize that God has already placed value in your life in the Imago Dei. So no matter, in the image of God, because you're made in the image of God. So no matter what your work is, kahit gaano kasimple pa yan, no matter how simple your life is, kahit gaano pa ka-humble yung season mo ngayon at yung buhay mo ngayon, at maybe forever even, di ba? It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, what gives us value is the fact that we are made in the image of God. We are all equal in value. We have different talents, we have different timelines, we have different amounts of treasures, but we all have the same value. So you're not less valuable than your boss or than a super famous influencer with millions of followers and a really luxurious lifestyle. That's not us. But what I'm trying to say is, I think we live now in a culture where we're constantly being compared to each other. We're constantly comparing our lives to other people. And it's so easy to fall into the grind culture kasi yun yung popular eh. Popular yung mga unboxing ng mga mamahaling gamit, ng mga luxurious na trips. Those are not bad things, but they should not be the thing that defines your worth as a person because they don't. And God loves you, God values you infinitely, so much so that Jesus died on the cross for you. So always remember that. Kung hindi mo nakukuha yung mga bagay na sa tingin mo dapat makuha mo, okay lang yan. There is just continuously work as hard and as smart as you can within bounds, diba? Enjoy the fruits of your labor and always remember that your purpose and your value is not hinged in just your work.
Yeah. Sabi nga sa laptop ni Kiara,
Ah,
may sticker na nakalagay dyan.
ano?
Jesus is worth everything you're afraid of losing.
Ay, ang ganda nun. Akala
As
ko
we
joke yung
close.
sasabihin mo. Kinabahan ako bigla.
Hindi, totoo yan. Deep breath. Thanks.
That's it for this episode of the podcast. If you guys like this at meron pa kayong mga questions or topics that you want us to do, please do let us know in the comments and we'll see you on the next one. Paalam!
That's it for this episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. If you liked this podcast, please don't forget to use the hashtag Adulting with Joyce Pring and also check out www.joycepring.com for the show notes and tag me on social media with you know it at Joyce Pring. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Paalam!